What is going on, Internet world? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying fly-sticking team on YouTube. We're here today with our Week 4 battle of the PCC against Coach Tree and the Sunny Day Corsolas. This is going to be a great match. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we are here breaking down our Week 4 match of the PCC against the Sunny Day Corsolas and Coach Tree. He's got a really scary team, but I think we have a pretty solid squad to take him on this week. His first Pokemon is Mega Kangaskhan, an incredibly strong and versatile normal type with the Parental Bond ability. It's very bulky, it base 105 HP and with 100 in both defenses, I believe, and with 125 attack and the Parental Bond ability giving it, an initial hit and then another hit immediately afterwards that deals a quarter damage. It gives it a lot of offensive prowess with moves such as Body Slam, Fake Out, Fire Punch, Earthquake. It can power up Punch as well to boost up, and it's just very bulky. It can pass Wishes, it can Yawn, and do a couple other things. I could see Mega Kang this week. I do have a couple answers to it that are fairly reliable. He could have something like Fire Punch for Ferrothorn, but he'd be taking a ton of health from something like Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs. I could also see other moves such as like Earthquake for Blacephalon, or just Body Slam for general spamming. Next up is Tapu Fini, a very bulky water and fairy type with the Misty Surge ability. It's very bulky at 115 defense and 130 special defense, and fairly offensive with 95 special attack, 85 speed, and a great offensive typing in water and fairy. Hydro Pump or Scald and Moonblast is very solid dual stab that does have other decent coverage with moves like Ice Beam and Grass Knot. It can set up with Calm Mind and Iron Defense and Draining Kiss to get health back. It can taunt, haze, stop setup, and do a couple other things. Definitely expecting Fini this match. It's definitely coming just for Blacephalon. It does a decent job of taking it on, and it can take on a couple other things on my team as well, such as Hitmontop. Next up is Latias, a very versatile and bulky dragon and psychic type with the Levitate ability. Draco Meteor and Psychic is a great dual stab. It also gets great coverage options with Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Energy Ball, Surf, Mystical Fire, and Aura Sphere. It can also set up Calm Minds, Roost for longevity, defog hazards away, pass Wishes, and do a bunch of other things. Again, definitely expecting Latias this week. I could definitely see a Choice Scarf set coming to trick into Sylveon to limit that thing's viability, or just, a couple other moves. A Calm Mind set would be pretty scary. Calm Mind, Roost, maybe Psychic, Mystical Fire, that'd be pretty scary. So definitely got to watch out for Latias this week. Next up is Thundurus, a very offensive electric and flying type with the Defiant and Prankster abilities. It's very scary with Thunderbolts, Focus Blast, Sludge Waves, Dark Pulses, Psychics, especially after a nasty plot. It can set up with agility as well. It can Prankster Defog. It can U-turn around. It does get decent physical moves such as Wild Charge, Knockoff, and Superpower. And it can U-turn for momentum. So I could definitely see one of the two electric types. He does have Arctozolt, as you'll see. So I'm definitely not expecting both. I could see Hail with those two, or I could see Thundurus and something else as well. So got to make sure I watch out for it if it comes. Next up is Darmanitan, a very offensive fire type with the Sheer Force ability. Sheer Force Flare Blitzes hit incredibly hard. It also gets other good moves such as Earthquake, Rock Slide, and U-turn. It can run subsets. If he's really feeling really wacky, he can run like Sub Belly Drum, which could be really scary. But I'm definitely expecting just a Choice Scarf set this week. It does a good job at outpacing some of my more offensive threats, such as Tornadus, Starmie, and Non-Scarf Blacephalon. It also outspeeds Venomoth at +1, which is something he has to watch out for. Next up is Mienshao, a very offensive fighting type with the Reckless and Regenerator abilities. It's a great pivot with U-turn with Regenerator, and it does get very solid offensive moves such as Close Combat, Knockoff, Stone Edge, and Ice Punch. You can run special sets as well, and you can also set up with Calm Mind. Again, I could see Mienshao if he brings that Thundurus. It could be a Choice Scarf set. He could be something like a Life Orb pivot, and that could do a bunch of damage. But I think he's got some other options on this team that are a little bit scarier. A non-Scarf variant gets outsped and killed by Blacephalon, Starmie, and Torn, and it is pretty frail. So unless he's a U-turn pivot, I don't see that thing coming. Next up is Vanillux, a pretty offensive and supportive ice type with the Snow Warning ability. It obviously can set up Hail for that Arctozolt and also set up Aurora Veil to give it turns to do stuff. It can Blizzard and Freeze Dry for some offensive prowess. It only gets really Flash Cannon as coverage move, so it can't do a whole lot. But it can Taunt as well to stop some setup options, but otherwise it's just there as a Hail and Aurora Veil setter. So if he wants to bring Arctozolt, I'm definitely expecting Vanillux, because otherwise Arcto doesn't do a whole lot. Speaking of which, his next mon is that Arctozolt, an incredibly scary ice and electric type with the Slush Rush and Volt Absorb abilities. Bolt Beak is an incredibly spammable stab move, and in conjunction with secondary stab and Icicle Crash or Blizzard or Freeze Dry, it's just so tough to take on, especially in Hail where he's hitting pretty much everything incredibly hard. Does get other good coverage moves such as Low Kick and Surf. Low Kick definitely for that Ferrothorn. I could expect a couple different things. He could be fully physically offensive with Bolt Beak, Icicle Crash, and Low Kick. I think a more specially offensive set just with Bolt Beak makes a little bit more sense. It hits Ferrothorn a little bit harder, and he's avoiding potential Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet. And then, Bold Beak obviously still smashes stuff like Sylveon and Blacephalon and the like. So he does have to watch out, as Blacephalon or Venomoth or anything above that speed tier at +1 does outspeed max speed Arctozolt in the hail. So he can't just go too crazy with it, but I still have to watch out for Arctozolt this week. Next up is Claydol, a very defensive and supportive grounded psychic type. It's a great hazard setter with Stealth Rocks, and it can remove them with Rapid Spin. It's also a decent teleport pivot as well, and it gets some good coverage moves such as Earth Power, Psychic, and Ice Beam. Probably not expecting Claydol this week. A bunch of my stuff just kind of absolutely thrashes, and it doesn't do a whole lot for his team this week. Next up is Steelix, a very bulky steel and ground type with the Sturdy ability. It can also run Sheer Force. It's got massive defense at base 200, I believe, and it's a great Stealth Rock setter. It's got good offensive moves such as Gyro Ball, Earthquake, and Body Press, and it can do a couple other things. You can phase with Roar and Dragon Tail and spread some status as well. Probably expecting Steelix this week. It's one of his better answers to come in against my Sylveon. Mystical Fires do a decent chunk, but he can threaten me pretty hard with a Heavy Slam or a Gyro Ball, and I don't have a whole lot that wants to take on his coverage. Ferrothorn can try to switch in, but he could be rocking something like Body Press or like Sheer Force Fire Fang, which would do a whole lot, so definitely got to watch out for Steelix this week. And then last but not least is Jumpluff, a pretty fast and supportive grass and flying type. It can, spread some status, leech seed some things, sub up, U-turn around, but otherwise, it doesn't do a whole lot, and I'm probably not expecting it this week, as it can do literally nothing to Ferrothorn. But with all that said, let's hop into what I'm bringing this match. Leading us off, we are rocking Disco Daddy-O. Disco Daddy-O is running a Choice Scarf set this week with Beast Boost, Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, and Trick. 252 in special attack, 240 in speed with the Timid Nature. This lets me outspeed fully invested Choice Scarf Mienshao, and the rest thrown in the bowl. Fire Blast and Shadow Ball is incredibly spammable this match, especially if Mega Kangaskhan doesn't come, and once I get some chip on Tapu Fini, he doesn't have a whole lot that wants to switch into repeated dual stab. Then I have Trick for going into a couple things on this team, mainly something like that Tapu Fini if he wants to come in. If he's really bulky, I can trick him a Scarf. He won't be doing a whole lot. He can't set up, he can't taunt, and he doesn't want to take repeated moves. So really liking Disco this week. This is my main win condition in the late game. I think he can do some really good work once I just manage that Tapu Fini. Just any chip on it would be fantastic. And also, this is a really good job at outspeeding that Arctozolt, forcing it out. Otherwise, he's staying in and taking a huge Fire Blast, which he definitely doesn't want to. So, really liking Disco. Got to keep the hazards clean, obviously, if he wants to come in multiple times, but I think I can do that. Next up, we're rocking Cafeole, the Ferrothorn, running a physically defensive set this week with Leftovers and Iron Barbs. Power Whip, Body Press, Stealth Rock, and Leech Seed, fully physically defensive. This is my main switch into Arctozolt. Like I said, he could be running special moves. If he's like fully specially invested with Blizzard and he's like Life Orb or something, he's probably two-shotting me, but Body Press does a whole lot. If he's specially offensive, then Sylveon can try to take it on, but again, Bolt Beak. But, main job for this thing is, get some hazards up. If he's Life Orb, he's going to take a lot of damage coming in on rocks and then taking Life Orb. If he's Boots or something of the sort, he won't be doing it nearly as much damage to me, and Cafe can try to take him on a little bit better. So, really liking that. This is also a decent option for Fini this week. Definitely expecting Nature's Madness and maybe a taunting set, but Power Whip does a decent chunk. The main goal is to I don't have to kill Fini. I just need to chip it down to let Disco do his work in the late game. And then Body Press is just there for that Arctozolt as well. Leech Seeds are good if I can get any recovery. That'd be super cool to just offset any hail chip that I might have or any damage coming from that Arctozolt. So definitely liking Cafe this week. I just need him to try to switch into that Arctozolt and try to get hazards up. Next up, we're rocking Lacey the Sylveon. Lacey running a mixed defensive set this week with Leftovers and Pixelate, Hyper Voice, Mystical Fire, Wish Protect. This is a pretty good answer to come in against a bunch of things on this team. If it switches in on Tapu Fini and Latias fairly well, if they're not Choice Scarf, you can also switch in on that Thunderous pretty well if he's not a physically offensive set. Sludge Wave would tickle a little bit, but Hyper Voice does a decent chunk. I can Wish Protect. Obviously, if he's nasty pull out, I gotta watch out. I don't want him to set up all over me and just kind of sweep me, so definitely have to watch out for that Thunderous, but this is also a pretty good answer to come in against Mienshao as well. And if he's for some reason doesn't have Bolt Beak, this can take on especially offensive Arctozolt pretty well. So I just kind of need Lacey to, come in, try to support the team, wish around. I can Mystical Fire into that Steelix, Mystical Fire into a couple other of his more bulky mons to lower their special attacks so they can't do a whole lot. And this is just a good answer to come in against a lot of things. So really liking Lacey this week. Next up, rocking Desert Storm, the Flygon, running a Rocky Helmet set this week with Levitate, Earthquake, U-Turn, Roost, Defog. 248 in HP, 196 in defense with the Impish Nature, and then 44 in special defense with a little bit of speed and attack. This is my main switch into Darmanitan. Darm can't really touch me. If he Flare Blitzes into me, he'll be taking a bunch from Rocky Helmet, and especially if I get rocks up, I definitely think he'll be Choice Scarf. He's going to be taking a whole lot of damage. I can U-turn around the team, try to get into some other stuff like Disco and Lacey. I got Roost on there to keep myself healthy, and then Defog to keep the hazards clean. This is a pretty good answer, mainly for our Darmanitan. It can also try to come in against that Mienshao if it comes. It'll probably have Ice Punch, and then this can come in on Steelix as well. I can Roost off, unless he's got Ice Fang. He could be like Sheer Force Ice Fang, which is something I have to watch out for, but otherwise I can Roost off damage, EQ that thing for a little bit, and pivot around the team. Next up, We're rocking Kial the Hitmontop. Kial running another Rocky Helmet set this week with Intimidate, Close Combat, Triple Axle, Mach Punch, and Rapid Spin, fully physically defensive. This is my main switch into Mega Kangaskhan. I'm not really sure if Mega Kang comes, but if it does come, I need something for it. If he, does anything into me, he's going to be taking a whole bunch from Rocky Helmet, and Intimidate means that he's not going to be doing a whole lot to me. CC absolutely matches that thing. Triple Axle is there for going into Latias. Mach Punch is there for that Kangaskhan as well. It's also decent for Arctozolt. If he doesn't have Blizzard, I can Mach Punch that thing, and then Bolt Beak won't be doing nearly as much because all have gone first. And then Rapid Spin is just there for keeping the hazards clean, like I said. Definitely want to keep him clean for Disco, as he'll be taking Hail Chip anyway if I see that. And then last but not least, making her debut, we're rocking Behemoth, the Venomoth, with a heavy-duty boot set with Tinted Lens this week, Bug Buzz, Sludge Bomb, Quiver Dance, and Roost. Max Special Attack, Max Speed with the Timid Nature. This lets me outspeed fully invested. Jolly or Naive. Arctozolt, Inhale. I originally had a Protect Disable set this week with Bug Buzz and Quiver Dance, but I think Dual Stab is a little bit better. I couldn't quite get it to work in my mock, and I like the Sludge Bomb for just being able to smash Tapu Fini. I can set up on Fini pretty free with this set, so I can set up to like +1 or +2. If he stays in and lets me get up to +2, I'll probably just go for game because I'm outspeeding everything on this team, and it just kind of mashes some stuff. If he has Fake Out on Kangaskhan, I can go into Kial super easy, make him take a whole bunch of damage, but otherwise, Quiver Dance is just looking so good. He doesn't have good answers for Tinted Lens Dual Stab this week, and then just Roost for longevity. I can set up on that Fini all day, unless he's gone Taunt to stop me from roosting, but otherwise, a Sludge Bomb, even at like neutral, it still does a whole lot to that thing if he's like physically defensive. If he's specially defensive, then obviously he'll be taking a little bit less, but otherwise, I'm really liking Behemoth this week. This is a good secondary win con, but it's mostly there to provide some early game pressure and try to chip down that Fini so that Disco can come in the late game and do his work. So, with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Alrighty guys, we're about to hop into this week 4 match of the PCC against the Sunny Day Corsolas and Coach Tree. You can see the 6 I expect him to bring up on the screen. Tapu Fini, Latias, Darmanitan, Vanillux, Arctozolt, and that Steelix. I could definitely also see Thundurus and Mienshao instead of the Hail Core, but you've seen the 6 I am bringing and why I am bringing them. If you haven't, go check out the team builder, but with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Okay, we do see JUMPLUFF and Claydol, which is kind of wild. I have no idea what they're doing. No Latias is sick to see, and no Steelix as well. I literally don't know what JUMPLUFF does, but Pharaoh should be free to come in on that every single time. But Claydol, I'm not too concerned about at this time. It's pretty much setup fodder for Venomoth. He can tele out on me, that's fine. And Disco, he could be a Kasib Berry set for Disco as well. I have to keep that in mind. He could also just be there for Flygon as well, so that's something I'll have to watch out for. But I gotta see what JUMPLUFF does, like, immediately. Yeah, so I literally don't know what JUMPLUFF does. It doesn't look like he can touch Ferrothorn at all. If I missed Weather Ball and he's got, like, Sunny Day Weather Ball and he kills me with that, that'd be scary. But probably just expecting a Darm lead. I like leading Storm. It's pretty easy. I can switch on if he leads Hail, I can just, pivot out into something like Cafe or Kial or Lacey if it's that Vanillux. But I think he'll probably just lead Darm, so let's lead Storm and see what happens. Yep. Damage. I'm going to go for a nice little U-turn here. If he thinks I'm Choice Scarfed, he's going to pivot out. If he's Choice Scarfed, he's going to take Helmet Chip. So I'm definitely just going to go for a nice little U-turn here. He's going to go straight into Claydol. Totally okay. 25%. He's Helmet Claydol. Good to know. And I think I want to go straight into Behemoth here and click Bug Buzz. That's fairly free. It chunks a bunch of stuff on this team. So let's see. Because if you're Helmet, I mean, that did a decent chunk to this guy. Yeah, he's physically defensive, it looks like. Yeah, he's fully physical. So Behemoth can probably come in here and just either... I don't want to click QD because Darm can come in, but Darm's going to take a decent chunk from a Sludge Bomb or a Bug Buzz. I could also just go into Blaze, but no, I don't want to do that because Fini's right there. It's too healthy. Behemoth doesn't kill with a Bug Buzz, and Psyshock would do an ass ton. So I don't really like doing that. I can also go into Pharaoh and get my hazards up. If he's got removal, it's on this thing, and he doesn't want to stay in for a Power Whip either. He could go into Darm, but I just like getting my rocks up, and I can pivot immediately back into Storm. So let's do that. Let's go straight into Cafe and just try to get some hazards up. If he stays in and goes for removal, then that's fine. Upon further investigation, this thing gets Iron Defense and Body Press, so if he starts setting up, I'm going to have to go into something else. I could also set Seeds first and then go for Stealth Rock. But no, let's get hazards up. Oh, he's going to set rocks himself. That's totally fine. I can get those out of here with Kial later. He goes for Body Press right now. It shouldn't do too much. Let's just make sure first before I do anything silly. He could also just remove those immediately, but I don't think he will. Body Press isn't going to do that much. I'm going to set Leech Seeds. He's just going to Rapid Spin. I'm totally okay with that. But I'm going to start chipping this thing down with Barbs and Leech Seed. And I'm just going to probably set him again. I can also click Power Whip. He's got to be wary of that. I'm just going to set Rock again. He's going to Telly out this time. Totally cool. He's going to go straight into Darm. He's going to take Rocks. He's just going to U-turn again. But my play is to go into Storm. He hasn't seen Helmet yet. He's going to go straight for Flare Blitz. 36. That did a lot. He's going to take Helmet and Recoil. My play is Roost. He's going to go back into Claydol. Totally cool. I'm going to Roost that off very nicely. He's probably going to go for a Rapid Spin here. My play is to U-turn back into Pharaoh. And then he's going to take a bunch from Rapid Spin. And then if he wants to Telly out immediately, go back to Darm, that's fine. But he knows I can go straight back into Blaze, so I doubt he does that. If he U-turns again, he's going to take Rocks, then he's going to take Helmet. And I think that would kill him, so he knows that he can't do that. But Storm doing a fantastic job managing that Darmanitan, because this is looking to be Venomoth time if I can get that going. So super liking Behemoth in this match. I just need a little bit more chip. I just need a little bit of chip on Vanillux. It's going to come in now. He's going to start setting up. He's going to set up Veil, or he's going to go for Blizzard. Either way, I think I want to go into... I don't want to go straight into Behemoth. I think I just want to go for a Body Press. I mean, if he goes for Blizzard, he's going to chunk me. But I don't think he'll do that. I want to see how much a Body Press is going to do to Vanillux under Veil. I don't know what you're going to... If you're, like, offensive, this kills. But Blizzard does an ass ton. But at that point, I can revenge so easy with Disco. I can also just go into Sylve. Sylve actually doesn't love taking... Sylveon does not take a Blizzard much better than if he's like offensive. Oh, that's Specs. He's not Specs. He's probably like light play. I'm just going to stay in and go for Body Press. Oh, he is just going to go... Oh, he's Specs. Holy crap. Okay, well... Very cool that I said, oh, he's not Specs, and then he was Specs. But Arcto's on the field. My play is to just let Pharaoh go down. Because, I mean, realistically, JUMPLUFF is sitting right there. I don't know what JUMPLUFF does, but Pharaoh shuts it down. What's my least useful member? I think it's Kial. I can get an Intimidate off and then Mach Punch. I'm going to do that instead. I want to keep Pharaoh around just because I don't know what JUMPLUFF is, and I want to keep it around. He's going to go for Crash. Oh, he crit me. There's the talent right there, boys. I'm going to go for a nice little Mach Punch. I think 32. He's going to click it again. That's fine. Alright, well, my play is to go into Disco. Click Fire Blast or Flamethrower. I could also click Shadow Ball. That'll do a little bit more to Fini coming in, but I don't know if that'll kill Arctozolt. If he's Choice Scarfed, then this won't do anything, obviously, because he's... I mean, it could do a decent chunk because... I mean, I'm a freaking... Let's see. Because I am a Blacephalon. Choice Scarf, Icicle Crash is nowhere near enough. But I scare this thing out, and once... Hail's gone, he doesn't have it anymore. So he's useless, because this is his last turn of Hail. So... I'm just going to click Flamethrower. If he wants to stay in, he's going to die. If he goes into Fini, that's totally okay. But I outspeed this thing 100% of the time unless I seriously screwed something up. Now he's just going to go into Claydol and sack it. Also cool. Alright, well, Blaze's got a Beast Boost. Fini's going to come out here. Oh, he's going to go into Darm. I don't quite understand that. I'm Choice Scarfed. There's no way this does less than 22%. Plus 1 Flamethrower does 56. Oh, what the hell? He was cussed out Barry Darmanitan. Are you kidding me? If he's got Hail on that Jumpluff or on anything else, I'm going to cry. What the shit? All right, I got to go into Storm and click EQ, I guess. Or U-turn. I'm just going to click EQ. And if you... What? I should have just gone... Oh, I should have... He's going to die. I should have raised it. I'm stupid. Yeah, Fini comes out here. He's probably got Ice Beam. I got to get into Behemoth safely and start setting up. If he Calm Minds here, I'm in trouble. I'm going to go into Lacey and Wish into Behemoth. That's my play. He's going to double into Arctozolt. Alright, you got one more switch in. My play is to go into Storm and then go into... Oh, he's got Hail on this thing. I gotta click Hyper Voice. He shouldn't be able to kill me here. Because if he clicks Hail, I'm in trouble. He's gonna go for Crash. Don't flinch me. Thank God. Alright, well, Arcto's out of the way. I gotta Wish. Yeah, that must have been like Choice Band or something. That did a ton. I guess he expected me to go into Pharaoh there. I knew he was probably going to expect that, so I did not. Also, the Hail option would have been bad, but realistically, I should have calced, because that did a shit ton. He might have been Choice Band. Yeah, Jumpluff comes out. I don't... He's Misty Seed. He's... Oh my God. Does this thing get Acrobatics? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? I just lost to Swords Dance, Acrobatics, Jumpluff. Are you kidding me? I'm going to Protect. If he clicks it again, yeah. I literally don't know what to say to that. I'll click Mystical Fire. I lived. Please kill. Nope, not even close. Hyper Voice would have done like 2 things more. I have no words, man. I literally have no words. Custat Berry Darmanitan. Misty Seed Acrobatics Jumpluff. He's gonna kill me here. I'll click Quiver Dance. I have literally no words. I mean, had I not lost my Blacephalon to a Custat Berry Darmanitan that barely activated, I have no words. I have literally no words. I can't say I'm not upset. Like... That's the stupidest thing that's ever happened to me. But, whatever. GG's to Tree. He brought cool prep. Cool that it worked. But, thank you guys so much for watching this battle. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like down below. And subscribe if you are new. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.